This program made possible in part by the death of many chickens.
I'm about 45 miles from the Canada border, and I was already nervous about this because just whenever you, first of all, have a big trailer, and then second of all, if they ask, I need to tell them that I'm transporting a few things for other people, which is perfectly fine, and it's not commercial. I will stand by that all day. It's not commercial. The items do not have a total value of more than $2,500. The value they really have is to the people who are receiving them. It's paperwork. There is some china. I really don't believe that it adds up to any significant value. It's clothing and other just personal items from a move, and in the other case from an estate. So, but I know from the past, if I go through the like non-commercial side, then, and the moment I tell them I'm transporting something for anybody else, no matter what it is, they want me to go over to commercial. So today I'm just going to start there, and I think it actually might go better to go in the commercial side and have them be like, oh, you're wrong, this is really not commercial, than to start at the civilian side and have them think, oh, you're wrong, this is commercial. Because when I actually get sent to the commercial side, they're like, yeah, this isn't commercial. But it depends on who you get. So, luck of the draw. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Was to begin with. I just realized that I'm pretty sure I do not have my truck registration in the truck. And I'm mostly just annoyed at myself. I took that out of my truck to take a picture of it to send to the bond agency for the bond that I will need for what is something that needs to be bonded on the way back through Canada from Alaska to Minnesota. It's a light, ultralight aircraft that definitely has a value of more than $2,500, so that does need to be bonded. And with all of the loading and unloading and moving stuff around and taking care of things and just trying to keep everything straight, and I had a list. I know the list included registration, and I think I went through the list the night before, and there were like I had like everything loaded except for like 3 things, and I checked off everything, and then I put big boxes next to the things that still needed to be done. And I really think that I forgot to go through that list the next morning. There's just so much to do, and I forgot. So now I'm even more nervous. I think I'm not going to film through the crossing though, because sometimes that just looks like you're looking for an issue, or you're trying to prove something or whatever. People in those types of positions just typically don't really like to be filmed, and I'm not out here to try to create an issue. So as much as I'm sure that would be some interesting footage to put on my YouTube channel and everything else, I'm not gonna film it. So I don't really see any reason to film again until after reaching that crossing. So the next footage should be me either very happy to be in Canada and on my way to Alaska, or very, very upset. I'm not going to hold my breath. It's still 45 minutes away, but you can hold your breath. It's coming right up for you. Just kidding. Here's a little footage south of the Canadian border. I've been behind this logging truck since the breath though. It's only been 38 seconds. Most people can hold their breath longer than that. Keep going. 3:30 p.m. I'm waiting in line at customs. Probably stop holding your breath now. I'm in the commercial line. It's a whole bunch of semi trucks and me. Trying to make border control happy, but I'm really nervous that it's going to backfire on me, because the other few times that I've come through and went through the passenger vehicle lane and just insisted I'm a passenger vehicle, and then they disagree with me, and then it creates a whole issue. But I kind of feel like the issue that it creates distracts from any other possible issue, and so I'm really worried that going through, like, I know that it's worked out the other time. I know I've gotten through. So this is going to go differently. Could go better. Could go worse. Because I might just get like right to business and start asking for the stuff that I don't have. Instead of being like, uh-oh, what do we do? Let's pass them around a bunch of places and finally decide it's all right. So, just moments like this remind you that you're alive. You can feel something. I feel straight nerves. Just a little sick to the stomach and a little shaky. Just straight nerves, but heart's pounding a little bit. All right. Well, I was right when I said it'd be either better or worse than usual. Unfortunately, it was better. I think it's funny. I never wanted to peg myself as commercial by going through the commercial lanes, especially when I genuinely believed that what I was carrying should not be defined as commercial. But you go through the like passenger vehicle lanes with a trailer and say you're carrying something for somebody else, and instantly they're like, this should be commercial. And I think partially it's just like you're the biggest fish to fry in that lane. And then you go through the commercial lane with a pickup truck and an old trailer, and everybody else in that lane is a semi, and you're the smallest fish to fry. So that they like, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, maybe I'm creating a whole story that doesn't exist there, maybe I just got lucky, or you know, whatever. Regardless, I'm very thankful. And I think there might be some element of it where it's just like he could kind of look at me and be like, yeah, this guy's not really commercial. Doesn't really look commercial. Looks like small time guy. And I was just very honest that I'm on my way up to Alaska to pick up an ultralight airplane. Yes, this is a side job for me. Yeah, so he's like, so then are those boxes empty? And I'm like, the front box is empty. The back box has personal items in it. And he's like, your personal items? I'm like, no, someone else's. Where are they going? They're going to, or he's like, whose? I'm like, someone in Alaska. And of course, my mind instantly went blank on anybody's name that I'm transporting these for. And then started asking me what's in it. And I just told him what's in it. And he's like, so do you load these yourself to know what's in it? And I said, no, I didn't open all the boxes, they were loaded for me. And, you know, he had that really kind of stiff demeanor, and then ended up saying, all right, go ahead. So, no issues at all. I didn't have to hand over any registration. Only thing I handed him was my passport, which makes sense. I mean, definitely don't want to throw anybody under the bus in this video. I don't think I'm doing that because he's not a DOT officer. He's not an enforcement officer of road laws. He's an enforcement officer of immigration and transport, and he addressed all of those issues very directly. He was right on the ball with all of the appropriate questions and follow-up questions and clarifications, and I answered everything honestly, and I think he read that correctly. So I think he did a stellar job, and that it went as it should. But also I'm grateful because, you know, sometimes you can run into issues, and it's not like I didn't set myself up pretty poorly to get stuck in those issues if they happen. So 1 down, 3 to go on border crossings, and you know, hopefully this will be just kind of the bulk of this diary entry for the day. The plan for the rest of the day is just kind of push as far into British Columbia as possible. Today's Saturday. It's already 4:23 local time, which is Pacific. It's 7:23 back in Eastern time, which is still the time zone my body's used to, though it's been really nice waking up at 5 and feeling like it's time to get up. I like that shift in my day. At the same time, it means that by like 10 a.m. I'm tired and like exhausted and ready to go to bed. So I'm not sure how far I'll be able to make it. The goal is just to get as far as I can, because by Monday night I want to be in Whitehorse, Yukon, because I have a hotel booked. It's the hotel that I booked to use as proof of travel to get my expedited passport, and I kind of meant to cancel it, and I missed that opportunity. That deadline was last night at 11:59 p.m. and I kind of had just assumed it was like the day before, so I missed it. At this point, I think, you know, the card's gonna get run whether or not I show up, so I definitely want to be there in Whitehorse by Monday night. So that's if we call this half a day that I have left of driving, that's gonna be 2.5 very full days of driving, and just gonna try to knock it out. But at the same time, it doesn't feel overly daunting because there's like no other errands that I have to run during this time. I don't like have to get in for an appointment at a passport agency that's right in the middle of downtown Seattle, where I can't bring my truck, so I have to park the truck, you know, 20 miles away in Tukwila, Washington. Like there's nothing complicated about any of this. Knock on wood. Weather forecast is for rain, high winds. Winds were absolutely insane. I hope I'm right that box can withstand hurricane force winds, because that's about what they're at. Anyways, that's what they were at in northern Washington, and the forecast for 100 Mile House, British Columbia, is high winds. But the temperature is, well, temperature's going down to 17 degrees at the coldest, 32 during the day. It's not supposed to be anything super crazy. Hopefully no snow. It's definitely rainy here, and precipitation, if it keeps getting colder, it's going to be snow or ice. But I'm also in like very close to the ocean where I get that effect. So as I get inland a little bit, I think the forecast is just for cloudy, moderate cold. Knock on wood, so far it has not been snowy in Alaska. Let's just keep moving forward and see how this goes.